So what's the deal with the SpongeBob theme song? Get off the stage! Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk 65. Few more episodes away until the funny number. The question of this week is, what's your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game? For news this week, this is something relating to Sab Talk itself, but we have a new schedule, and every Sab Talk will be recorded every Wednesday. Episodes will not premiere on Wednesday, it'll just be recorded on Wednesday. So if you have any questions or video submissions, have them commented and submitted before then. Now that that's taken care of, let's get to Sab story time. Jobs, you either love them or you hate them. Once I try pursuing mine, I'm hoping I love it, since I'm trying to follow my dreams. A lot of people tell me I should work on SpongeBob. Would it surprise you that I actually did? Just not in the way you expect. Keep watching to find out. Once I graduated high school, I was reached out by ARG Animation to be an intern. It was a small building with Cintiqs and vintage knickknacks. During the interview process, I never felt so understood. When I talk to most people about animation, they typically don't understand what I talk about. I can't say stuff like onion skin or keyframed or normal map or I'd lose them. I always have to say it's like Disney. But here, Mr. Bossman knew exactly what I was saying, and we even talked excessively about the process. Anyways, he's guided me and another high school friend through Adobe Anime before we started working, just to prep us up with the software, which I was mostly familiar with. That didn't mean I never learned anything new. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have learned about rigging or alpha channels. Most of the animation was rig-based, which was something I wasn't familiar with at the time, or still am. It was super tricky because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to movement. I cannot stand the look of super robotic and stiff tween animation. I feel like some of the work I did came off pretty stiff, but it was a nice learning process. There were 3 projects I worked on there in depth, because there were a lot of other smaller projects that were very on and off, and some didn't even end up being made. I localized extras for Western audiences on the show Turtle Taito, some sort of Bible animatic, and my personal favorite, the Artie Stick animatic. He may look like a familiar Eat Pant kid, but believe it or not, Artie predates Bart Simpson by a ton. The earliest I remember was around the 1960s. The posters made from cel and the comics were pretty damn vintage. My boss assigned me to board an animated adaptation of the Artie comics, where he went to space and runs into some aliens. What made things even cooler was the fact that I was given a 3D molded head of the character. It was a board-driven cartoon, so I had tons of creative freedom with gags and timing. Looking back, I was honestly surprised on how much I got away with. There was nothing too risque. Artie never fucked a tree or killed his family to make a pencil factory, but I included some elements that were pretty drastic from the original comic, such as the alien technology and the off-the-wall expressions. But either way, I had a blast. You might be asking, didn't you say you worked for SpongeBob? Well, not in the way you'd think. ARG Animation actually worked on a SpongeBob mobile app. It was called the SpongeBob Tickler, and despite the studio mainly being rig-based animation, they did most of the hand-drawn stuff. So while on break, my boss showed me some of the files they had edited to black and white tragedy footage set to silly copyrighted music. It was a sight to behold. This particular boss and I are still in touch. He even voiced an extra on Another Random Day. This one to be exact, and one time helped me with the Jasmine and Ender rigs for the short, and that was my first real job. There was no focused moral on that one, so you can cherry pick the moral this time. Last week's question was, what's your favorite Sab Talk segment? CJ says, video submissions and Q&A. I like Sab Storytime Sprite. Scuff196 says, thanks for having me. My favorite Sab Talk segments are the ones I'm in. Lemsy's Pretty Cool Channel says, the story time is interesting. Alrighty, time for the Q&A. Michael Pullett Studios says, who did you cheer for in the Stanley Cup? I didn't watch the Stanley Cup. Not into sports. The SpongeBob Man 69, Nice says, do you have a SpongeBob episode that you think is funny to you? A lot of them actually. So many to the point where if I listen to them all, we'd be here all day. However, I will highlight one for the time being. In one of the recent episodes, Say Aw, there was a scene where SpongeBob just happily watches a nurse die, and I thought that was really funny. So here, have the scene if you haven't seen it. Do you have a SpongeBob SquarePants coloring activity book? I have definitely had quite a few during my entire life. I only have one right now, and it's like a big coloring book based off a sponge out of water. Anyone remember that movie? You should. Watch it. Absorbency says, since you've done a few gameplay videos in the past, would you be down to do some gameplay videos of some of the official SpongeBob Flash games? Or Nickelodeon Flash games in general? If I find a way to access them, you bet your ass. I loved the Flash games as a kid, and I would love to play them like on stream or just in a video sometime. I think it'd be fun content to produce. I might start off with SpongeBob and then like after a while I might do some Nickelodeon ones. Hell, maybe some Disney and Cartoon Network ones that I've missed. I was mainly a Nickelodeon kid, so that would be a lot of fun. SBSP fan says, have you ever watched Bob in a Bottle? On Discord, he sent me a link. I've only seen like 6 minutes of it. It's certainly interesting. The animation definitely has that like fun, abstract anime charm to it. Though the lamp Bob comes out of is kind of questionable. Kind of looks like a racist stereotype. Lemzy's Pretty Cool Channel says, did you know that a part of the Truth or Square intro was used in a nerd Pac-Man meme? P.S. It would be funny if the SpongeBob variant of the world's smallest TV was the SpongeBob themed TV. Honestly, the Truth or Square instrumental was the first thing I noticed with that meme. Did you guys hear that the pack is back? Cause the pack is back. As a reminder, the question of this week is, what's your favorite Sonic game? If you have any other questions, please comment them below by Wednesday. And for video submission, here are the links. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here.